Hello, long time no see. Welcome to episode 2 of Cinemartyr Talks. This episode is with Amber Moon. She is releasing a new EP, a 3-track EP titled Good Girls Get Guns. Amber also sings in Cinemartyr. You probably recognize her if you are watching this right now. Today's episode is great. We talk about a lot of things: mental health, the creative process, collaborating with others, Mel Gibson, Passion of the Christ, fucking other shit too. So you're not supposed to curse in the first 30 seconds of a YouTube video, so I have failed. But yeah, please like and subscribe if you want to see more stuff like this. The last episode was the inaugural, does that mean first episode, with Nick Sadler from Daughters, and that was a great episode, and hopefully we'll have more coming at you much quicker than I think that was 6 months ago. So the next one should be faster as I recover from my mental health crisis. Hey Amber, it's good to see you. As most folks watching will know, we played together in Cinemartyr. It's been a while since we've done that due to various factors, but it made me happy to hear that you're working on your own record, which we're going to talk about today a lot. But first, I just want to check in. How are you doing? How's life?
Life is, I really can't complain, except for some personal health issues, but otherwise, it's been good here in Brooklyn, New York, being married, and just on that healthcare journey, which is a bit of a bummer, but I think everybody has to contend with that at some point in their life, and they have to reckon with all the things they've done to abuse their body at some point.
Yep, I hear you. I'm going through something similar. Masters just came back. I got to listen to them today. It sounds awesome. But I wanted to ask, before you mastered them and you got to the point where you were finally ready to hand them in, how did it feel to get to that significant point of essentially finishing a long gestating EP? So before, you've made your final mixes and you're like, these are the songs that this is actually kind of done now. I know it's never really done, but how did it feel once you got to that point?
It felt good, but I will say that I got to that point probably 3 or 4 times, and then I would return to the mixes and I would hear things when I came back, a couple weeks later. I would hear things that I was like, that's not going to fly. And so I started tweaking the mix, because Chad was going to master it and he wasn't able to get to it for 3 weeks type of thing. So about 2 weeks after I had technically submitted the mixes as done, I started thinking about the snare sound and how I can improve on it. So I started just really getting granular with that, and before I knew it, I was sidechain compressing my vocals and doing a ton of other things, and it's kind of a weird and uncertain process, and it pushes and pulls you, and drives you a little nuts for sure, and you will be asking yourself why the hell you've put yourself through all this stress. But at the end of the day, it's either I can do this or I can pay someone else thousands of dollars to do something that is not going to be exactly the way I want it. Basically, if you want something done right, do it yourself type of mentality.
Yeah, totally. It's a huge risk, actually. You could be paying quite a bit, and it could be with a friend even you're paying and you're happy to do that, but you could get something back that is way off the mark, and then it's do I spend more money on this? Do I,
it's kind of
not to discount all the great mixers out there, but some of us really need to kind of have a really big say in how the sound goes.
Well, I think editing, mixing and editing is a huge part of the creative process. Pro Tools could be considered itself a whole musical instrument in and of itself. Mixing could be its own instrumental approach. So to ask somebody else to do that is almost like asking someone else to join your band.
Yes.
Very.
Do you feel where you were with Pro Tools before you started this project versus now you've leveled up with that as an instrument?
Yeah, for sure. I did sound design for film for many years, over a decade now, and I work at a college where I do sound design on the regular. but as compared to mixing music, that stuff is pretty boring, and mixing music gets a whole lot more granular. So I stepped into a whole wormhole of sound design that I had dabbled in before. I basically would enter the wormhole and then I would come out a little bit insane and maybe not as excited about it anymore because I felt like I'm not smart enough to do this. I had a lot of like issues with, I would say like booze and drugs in my life have been hindrances in my development in terms of getting better at things like that. And mixing is an art where you really need to have all of your faculties and you need to be really sound of mind, really aware and present. And drugs cause a lot of auditory hallucinations, particularly even just pot, which seems like an innocuous thing. But when it comes to sound design, it's just an absolute no-no.
Well, there's nothing worse than like being up until 4 a.m. totally ripped, mixing something. You're like, this sounds fucking sick. And then you hear it back in the morning and you're like, it's just like cat fart noises and like, I don't know, like steel banging.
It makes you quit.
Yeah. And I hear you too. It's like, it's intimidating in general getting into mixing, and like finishing a project. It's like, I kind of relate to that too. Like in the beginning, just being like, oh, I'm not someone who finishes a song or a record. This is like fun to mess around on, but like, can I actually do this, And congratulations to you because you've just like, now you kind of opened the floodgates for yourself. You can do so much more after this now.
For sure. Yeah. Very happy about that.
Hell yeah. So I've heard you say in the past, you've described this record a little bit as this ain't country, this music is vengeful. And I kind of get why you'd want to say that, but a lot of country can be vengeful, sometimes. And country itself is having a bit of a moment these last few years. I've been sick the last few months, as some folks listening might know, and the only thing I've been able to listen to is this like country artist named Stephen Wilson Jr. It's like something I could never have imagined myself listening to growing up, but for some reason it hits in this moment. Does any part of you want to reclaim that term country, someone like he has, or do you want to make a clean break? Because I think some country folks would dig it. But I think this also is like a broader comment on America, and I can understand why you might want to stay out of the country world too. Like, how do you feel about that?
I don't know how to really box myself in terms of what kind of music I make. I'd say alternative country might be the brand to go with, but I also I love rock. I love grunge rock. I like, psychobilly rock. It could go there, and that's those things are sort of in the same vein. It's I guess I could take the approach of I'm going to come in and reclaim country music because I think it should sound a certain way. But to be honest with you, like I have been trying to listen to country and I find it mostly insufferable.
Yeah.
There's like
totally
there's a few artists out there that I feel like are doing it really right. Like this guy named Sturgill Simpson. He's quite
Sturgill Simpson.
Simpson. Yes, thank you for that correction.
I'm going to say it now because if I don't, the comments will.
Exactly. Thank you for saving me in the comments. But I absolutely love his music, and I would consider him, high on the list of influences. And definitely alternative country, anti-country. He's like he stands kind of activistly. He stands like almost against everything that country is in terms of following the formula and wearing their stupid little costumes and whatever, like just doing like the same thing over and over again.
Having to own a pickup.
Yeah. Having a, yeah. So, I don't really want to sing about those things though. I would rather sing about, the fall of the patriarchy and feminist topics. And I don't know, just I don't even know if this is like the sound that I want to go with, if I can keep writing music in this same vein. But I just know that I've written a lot of songs, a lot of garbage, and a lot of it just seems to come out of me, and it's like in this same vein. So I feel like if to be true to myself and what I kind of music I want to come out with, it's going to be kind of, alternative country, I would say, is probably the branding.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, yeah. I know. I mean, and I know the pitfalls of like talking about genre and all that, but there's just something atmospherically about listening to the EP that kind of gave me some sort of country vibe, like outlaw country more so.
Yeah.
And I like that term you use, like anti-country. That's like anti-art, or
Yeah.
it's still in that world, but it's pushing back against some of those things, which is what an outlaw should do, I guess. It's like you're talking about the breaking down the patriarchy, but you're also talking about guns, and those two things often kind of push up against each other in interesting ways,
For sure. I think it's about, it's mostly that this EP, Good Girls Get Guns, is mostly about empowering women, and the fact is, like, I think that more women should be armed. I think that men would behave a lot more if women would just arm themselves.
Yeah, there was this advertising campaign, I think, or it was like, I remember seeing these posters about like, it was like maybe it was the 80s or maybe it was earlier, and it was like a girl with a revolver in like her tights or whatever, and it was like, come try it or something like that, or like, it was a campaign to basically be like, yeah, like try fuck with me now kind of thing, Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, this is a very like big conversation. We don't have to go into it, but in America, it's like, guns are a reality in a very often sad sense, and it's like, do you as a woman, if you're in a rough place, or you're worried about your life, or you're looking at current events, do you use your voice, just your voice? Do you use your social media? Do you protect yourself in other ways? And I think it's a fair question to ask, and to at least be able to have the conversation is important, not to like this musician like has the word gun on her album cover. That means she must be thinking more conservatively or something. And it's like the exact opposite for you, it seems.
Yeah.
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 Exactly.
Yeah.
It's definitely the exact opposite.
Phew, I got out of that hole there that I almost dug for myself. Okay, let's quickly talk influences a little bit. I see you're influenced by The Byrds, The Animals, Meat Puppets, Desert Sessions, Donna Blue, Paula Cole, June Carter, and then the last name I see here is Dolores O'Riordan, and that last one hits home for me, of course. That singer of the Cranberries, that's the singer of the Cranberries, who are from my hometown. What an insane voice she has. Sure, her voice reminds me a little bit of yours sometimes, and I feel like you're both, like, you could be like maybe 100th cousins or something. There could be something there to that.
For sure.
But could you speak to how some of these artists have informed what you do in general and what you've done here with this Good Girls Get Guns EP?
Let's see how they've influenced me.
Were you directly thinking about them, or was it more of like a background thing? Were you trying to recreate something, or was it just that this has been like the history of your life in music and it kind of came out that way?
I don't know. I don't really listen to a lot of music. That's hard for me to admit. It's like most musicians consume so many artists. And I would say that I do consume quite a bit of art spanning many genres. Of like metal, rock and roll, like classic rock, 80s synth pop. Like I find that there's everything. There's something good in every genre. I find that there's something good in every genre to appreciate. But I like where these particular artists like took their sound, and I felt like it was very atmospheric, and it it almost had like I don't know if this is the right word to say, a drugging effect.
Mm.
It really just kind of sweeps you away and takes you somewhere else, and emotionally, just I'm trying to find the right way to say it. I'm sorry.
It has a transporting effect, I think.
Yes.
You're like the EP does for me. I'm the same as you. I don't listen to a lot of music anymore. I haven't for many years, and it is a weird thing to say. Like, but also it makes sense if you spend so much time making music and sitting down listening to mixes over and over again and seeing live bands. It's like you kind of get your fill, even if it's your own music. But when I listen to the EP, it's like there's kind of like you're immediately hit with. Sorry, I have to use the term, but you're immediately hit with vibes. Like you are kind of transported somewhere. Atmosphere is very important in it, I think, and
sure.
you've kind of slowly like layered that bit by bit, and just refining the mix and stuff like that. And I see some of these influences come through, like especially Desert Sessions and Mark Lanigan and the Birds and the Animals, that very first guitar picking part reminds me a little bit of House of the Rising Sun, but it's its own thing. So for you, maybe is it more life stuff that influences you, or as opposed to just like art and music, or is it all of the above?
I guess maybe one thing in particular about these artists is that their music didn't meander very much. It was thick with, like, the sonic fabric was thick with deliberation. I guess maybe that's the right word. And it just resonated with me, and I also just have a tendency to kind of write similar music. So while I appreciate other genres, like I would love to be in a metal band, that stuff just doesn't really pour out of me that easily. Not to say that it won't ever pour out of me. Maybe, if I get technically better at what I do, that it might. But for right now, it's just about relating to the audience, relating to my influences, relating to my audience, making sure that they're not bored. I don't want to put something out there that's going to make people snooze, and I don't want to waste people's time. And I want to demonstrate, my songwriting abilities. And in a lot of ways, this project is about just getting something out there before potentially I lose the ability to ever sing again, which I don't want to knock on wood. That's never going to happen. But there have been issues with my health that have prevented me from making this the piece of perfection that I would have otherwise. So it's taken a lot of letting go for me to just allow this project to be free into the world. A lot of mental fortitude, I guess, to be able to let go of my art and let it be free instead of just always coveting it, which is like not doing anybody any favors. But I just finally reached that point where I felt like the music was worthy enough, and I feel good about it.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. When you said about singing, knock on wood, I literally knocked on wood because that voice needs...
Because you're superstitious, leprechaun.
Yes, exactly, and that voice needs to stick around. But you were just saying there that you're... Oh, yeah, okay, so you were just making me think there. It's interesting that, like, I might want to, like you said, you might want to be in a metal band, but this is the music that's coming out at the moment. It's funny, we don't really get to control that sometimes. It's just like where your creative faculties are at, where your mood is at, where your like energy's at, and then like you have this vision for a project, and then that's kind of what comes out, and it's like, yeah, you could want to be in a metal band, but like maybe it's not right now, and maybe it'll come at some other point, and it's cool to just be open to that. It's hard to just let the project be what it wants to be. But I think that's like like Pro Tools. That's almost like a skill, learning how to do that. Like learning how to let go of that stuff.
Yeah. And one thing that I will say that is a silver lining to the industry being as a shit show as it is that I don't really give a shit about what people think. I think people are concerned about with being consistent in the genre that they create music, and I don't really think I need to worry about that.
Yeah, I think that's incredibly important, because it's infuriating. It's like the art world. You're supposed to be able to paint just the same painting, like series of 10. That's your style. Or if you're a metal artist, you make like this metal album, and that's your style, and you stay in your lane, because you don't want to like freak out your audience or like splinter your audience or make them too confused because one song's a pop song and one song's like a fucking traditional Irish music song or whatever. But not everyone is that type of artist. Like, I know I have no interest in, like, it's just you, like, reinventing yourself every time is part of the fun. And sometimes a record itself can be like a song from every different genre, not by design, just but by accident, because you wanted to make that song.
Yeah.
There's such an influence on like having like a niche and being a sellable product, and I think you go against that when you don't do that. When you don't make a nice little cute package for Spotify.
Yeah, which is never going to happen for me.
Yeah, so. Applause.
Fuck Spotify, FYI. By the way.
And someone at Spotify is gonna be like, "Oh man, this is so rad! Like, we need to win them over and have the anti Spotify treatment." So this kind of leads on from that, but I hear you sometimes talk about the curse of perfectionism, and that has made it hard for you in the past to get to this point. How did you maybe we've spoken about this a little bit already, but how did you shed that or work around that and get to here now with the perfectionism stuff?
In some ways, I was just really sloppy with how I recorded things. I try not to be, but like, I also am not trying to set up 8 goddamn microphones to record the drums at the same time. It's laborious. But looking back now, I feel like maybe it would have been worth it to do such a thing. But it was okay, because setting up 4 mics gave me a challenge to make the drums sound good. And sorry, what was the question again?
So, just before I even repeat that, so you were engineering this EP as well?
Yeah, I recorded the drums, recorded 2 guitars, actually 3 guitars, recorded my vocals, recorded saxophone. I had a guest, Keenan O'Connor, recording bass, and he laid a guitar solo down. And I had Nick West lay a trumpet solo down.
That's a lot of things to learn to record.
Yeah, I engineered everything and mixed everything.
That's awesome.
And Chad Bernhardt mastered it.
Hell yeah. How do you know Chad?
Chad is my boss. I first met him in the dojo. So first and foremost, he was a dojo brother. But he got me hired here at this college, which I probably shouldn't say the name of. And I've been working here for 8 years, and he has he's been my mentor for sound design. So he's made me who I am in terms of that.
That's awesome.
And I have a lot of gratitude to him. I owe him a lot.
And he's not scaring the living shit out of you.
Yeah, he's like a brother, like I said.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I was just asking about perfectionism. Like that gets in the way sometimes of us finishing things. Like I deal with that too. And I was just like, do you think you're at a better place now with your like you can let go of stuff a little bit easier when you're making a record, or will you have to find out when you make your next record if that's the case or not?
Yeah, I'm easier on that mostly because I'm sober and I'm able to not make as many mistakes.
Mm,
You know, before when I was drinking and smoking pot, this is when I wanted to be creative,
mm,
which smoking pot is can be really good for that. But you make a lot of mistakes, and also I was uneducated at the time, so I was making mistakes, and those mistakes were hard to clean up. And also, I just know a hell of a lot more about sound design now, and sound design tools are a lot beefier. And I am able, I have all of the tools that I need to make a good product. So it's basically about my confidence has gone up
fuck yeah.
with what I do, and that was like a lot of the battle. But yeah, I still contend with thoughts of, is this good enough to go out, but also who cares,
Yep. And if you ever think like, oh man, like, is this good enough to go out? It's just like some of the shit that does go out. Oof,
Yeah.
oof.
You've shown me some shit
Some of
that
that shit is mine.
uh, no, no, Shane. No, no.
uh,
No, the TikTok musicians sometimes can get a little off the wall, and yeah, you you turn on Instagram and you see something like that, and you're just like, okay, time to turn off the internet for a full week after
forever.
that, because
Yes.
that was cringe.
Yeah, if you can engineer the right level of awfulness, you could get really, really famous. Or really, really, really viral, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're going for too.
Yeah, yeah.
Negative press.
Right.
Negative press is good press, is from what I hear.
Yeah, we
So.
should have something awful happen on this interview. Like, I don't know, like my cat could like attack my face, or someone could break into the studio or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there are characters in these songs you've written, and we have B and is it Choop, right? It's pronounced Choop.
Chupa.
Chupa.
But Choop for short, yeah.
Choop. Okay, cool. So "Son of a Gun" is arguably the catchiest track on the EP, I think. Reading here, like when I'm doing my research, it's about B's little brother Chupa, but told from the perspective of his manic mother. It's the story of how she grooms him to become an assassin and the pitfalls of doing such a thing. She basically is arming him and telling him to go down to gun down his father. That totally reframes the song for me, because when I first heard it, I thought it was about a wild dog that hung out at a bar, and I was like, "It's fucking true," and like maybe they gave him beer or something like in his dog bowl. Where do these ideas come from?
So the song about B and the song about Choop, which is Lo and Behold and Son of a Gun, were actually derived from hooks that I would sing to my cats. My boy Chupa, I love to sing to him, even though he doesn't really like it when I sing to him. He doesn't really like music,
What?
but I would just sing, "He's my boy, he's my son," and then I could add things to that, and I I started to try to put that to a guitar progression one day, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually kind of cool," you know. So that song came out of me so fast, and so did Lo and Behold, actually too. And that one, the hook is "Lo and behold, it's a bee." That's what I sing when Bridget enters the room. My cat Bridget. Because she's a queen, and I treat her that way.
B
And
comes from Bridget or Queen Bee? Both.
both, but I call her B.
Mm.
I kind of call a lot of people B. I like the term B. You don't know if I mean baby or bitch or boy, or it's kind of like what does she mean?
Yeah,
You have to kind of read it in my tone.
I've known you for a few years now, and I still have no idea what B means when you say it to someone. So I like the mystery.
Mostly I call David B,
Mm.
but I call Bridget B too. And in the song, it actually devolves into the word bitch. If you hear it towards the end, it's like, lo and behold, it's the bitch. So
cool.
Yeah, it's just the stories. That story actually, I gave to David to write. So he wrote the verses of that one, and I think that story turned out beautifully, and David has just really surprised me at his lyrical abilities. And I look forward to having him write more on stuff.
That's so cool. I did not know you collaborated that way on the lyrics. That's really awesome.
Yeah. I had him write the verses, and I was I was just taken aback by how well he writes. Like, he is really creative and good at rhyming. So there's those two to match made in heaven.
For anyone listening, Dave also plays drums in Cinemartyr, and he's a smart guy, so that makes sense that he would be a good lyric writer too.
David Goldman, yes.
Old B.
And so that story, I basically gave David a framework of what to write about. You know, I said, this is a story about Bridget, and she's a gunslinging badass woman who's on the run. Write me some verses. And he did not disappoint. And then with Son of a Gun, I'd actually I started writing a novel about these two characters before I wrote the songs. So I then just kind of started adapting the songs to the stories that I wrote. And this is Chupa's origin story, where he was basically raised like a hillbilly. His mother, loves to give him guns, loves to have guns lying around the house, and hates her ex-husband, which is his father. But it's symbolism for the patriarchy, the mother is saying, what are the words?
Go fuck him up.
Well, the words are, your father's empire must be taken down, which means it can either mean, and she goes on to say basically that, and I'm not talking about taking him down as in getting him arrested and thrown in jail. I'm talking about death, kill him. And that could mean that, she's feeding into his hatred and hoping for patricide, but also it's symbolism for the patriarchy must fall.
It's interesting because she's making a sacrifice out of her son. Like, it could fuck up his life, but she's seeing what happens.
She's making an insane person out of him, and he's a wild card, and it could become chaotic. He could become another school shooter at any point. Oh, yeah. It's so funny. There's so many layers to these songs. You mentioned writing a book. Is that that sounds awesome. Is that, I don't whenever I ask this question, I worry that I just put too much pressure on the person. But do you see it coming out in the near future? Is it something you want to finish, or is it a pure just passion project with no rush in mind, or what? It is kind of just a passion project with no rush in mind. It's loosely based on a true story, but with a lot of embellishment, of course. But it's I don't know when. I can't really put a date on when that's going to be released, but I want to say that the next round of songs that I want to at least release a couple of short stories, and just in case anybody's interested in they hear the songs and they're like, oh, these characters sound fascinating and unique, and maybe they want to read more into their backstories. So, because the novels, the novellas, or whatever you want to call them, or the short stories that I'm writing are about their origin stories at this point. They haven't really gone up to the level of Lo and Behold, where she's a full-grown woman and she's on the run and she's causing a ruckus and she's leaving a wake of disaster. She's leaving disaster in her wake, and I still need to catch those stories up to that point.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's not an unwritten rule, but some people are like, I don't want to explain my songs because I want the audience to come up with their own meanings or whatever. But even when you do explain your own songs and you write a short story about it, that still just like can fan out even more layers for people to get lost in the metaphors and stuff like that. I think about like someone like Nick Cave. It's very like storytelling, songwriting. Like there's this guy and he's got a gun or whatever, or there's this couple who are on the run, and it's like that sounds pretty like straight ahead, but then within that there's a lot of metaphorical stuff going on. You don't lose that necessarily by telling a story, which is I think some people get very alert, like, because everyone watches David Lynch being like, I'm not telling you about my movie, and then everyone's like, I have to do that, but you don't. There are no rules. You can like write short stories if you want. You know, you can write a whole book about an album, and that's cool.
That's probably like why I write the stories, is because I do need kind of an outlet for the details of my work, of my songs. I learned that I've come a bit of a ways in terms of writing lyrics, in that I used to write, very literally and almost too detailed. I don't know what the right word is. It's like it wasn't poetic enough. It just wasn't palatable. I would say it was probably in terms of punk music, it ran in the same it ran in the same vein as like a punk song would.
Right.
It's just very literal, in your face kind of words. But I learned that art should be taken somewhat. Art should be somewhat open to interpretation by the audience. I think that's how it's easily received by the audience, is if they're able to approach it with their own little bit of creative input in some way to sort of make it their own and absorb it and relate to it. So I try to open up the lyrics for that to happen.
Yeah.
But if people want to know more about what I'm talking about, then they have, hopefully in the future, they will have that sort of avenue to go and explore the stories a little bit deeper.
Hell yeah. Sick. On that note, this is just bear with me for a sec. I got to read out a little bit of a section here. I love the description of the song "Smooth as Milk." It's a song about a charismatic ex-boyfriend trying to slither his way back into a situationship with me or me, the character, I guess, after a bad breakup. It highlights his indifference and sensitivity of what transpired in the past and is met with sugar-coated threats. Even though I'm defensive and bitter, I enjoy the playful flirtation, and he enjoys microdosing success at breaking my resolve. That line, I think, is fantastic. He enjoys the microdosing success of breaking my resolve. If it isn't too personal, and does writing about a thing like this help you reframe and work through, certain feelings or emotions? Like, is there a therapeutic aspect to having these kind of themes and subjects and stories in your songs?
Yeah, it's music is a therapy for me first and foremost. Even though it might drive me a little insane and cause me to need therapy in the first place.
Chicken or the egg, I don't know.
But yeah, I think getting emotions out in the form of writing or talking about your feelings is paramount to your mental well-being. And it's also like the tale as old as time, when it comes to like situationships and you fall for people that are toying with you, and you get kind of stuck in this paradoxical environment where you really want the person, but do they want you back? And it's really like love can be just an emotional entanglement that is really, really hard to navigate and hard to break away from. And I don't normally write about love in my songs. It's kind of like one of those in the past, in my history of writing music, has been a faux pas. It's like, oh, everybody writes about love, so I'm not going to do that. But love is a big thing in people's lives, and I think people want to hear about it and relate to it. And I think that what I say in that song is highly relatable for a lot of people.
Yeah, 100%. It's also like you talk about how hard it is to like separate from some of those situations. It's like it's almost like a death, and it has to be grieved. And I feel like the songwriting process or the lyric writing process or just thinking about these things and getting them out through music or whatever is a way to take some of the bite out of the grief of it, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that because that ex actually did die.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear. Jesus Christ.
And no, it's fine. It's fine. But they do kind of literally haunt my dreams sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think I have some sort of lyric in there about that.
Well, that's one way to get into someone's songwriting for sure. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I actually wrote that about him before he died. So
Oh, wow.
it was interesting. I thought about maybe twisting some of the words around, but I thought actually all these lyrics work for a person who's died or not, or still living.
Does this story, is this separated out from some of the characters you have, or is it also part of that storyline related to the book and stuff, or?
No, yeah, this is just a personal experience.
Right.
Actually, this song was the longest one that I've worked on. Probably have worked on that song. I worked on Smooth as Milk at least 3 or 4 years.
Wow.
Whereas these other 2 songs I wrote in a span of 2 to 6 months.
I think that's helpful for people to hear because just for other creators, it's like, yeah, you can have something that's just sitting there for a long time and you touch it and you just try and make it happen and it's not the right time. And other times, yeah, a song comes out of you in a day or something, and that's just normal part of the process.
Yeah. It's unfortunately a part of the process to have a maddening amount of content that you have to like revisit every so often and think, is there any potential in this,
Yeah, and you forget how you even got to that point in the project, like in the DAW. You're like, how is that sound being made? And you have to reteach yourself the familiarity of that project.
Yep.
Do you have any live plans for this project? And if not, do you have sequel plans, an album? I hear you're working on a noise project with your cats. So yeah, first of all, do you have any live plans?
I'm always working on noise projects with my cats.
That's how you stay sane in this world.
They get really shy though when you put a microphone in their face.
Right.
They don't like that.
Yeah, you probably need to like leave the microphone there, put some treats around the place, and like leave the apartment and like boost up the reverb or something.
I don't have any plans to go live. You hear me like sighing every so often. I don't have very good breathing. I have dyspnea.
Right.
So that means I really can't sing, which is a bummer. But hopefully after I run this entire gamut of specialists, I will get it figured out. So there are no plans. And but I'm working on some new musics in the same vein. I don't know if I'll ever like get a whole album of music together. I feel like that would kind of drive me nuts, but maybe I'll level up to that point. But I felt like this short little EP of songs was a good amount to be working on. And I felt like it was nice because I could give each song the appropriate amount of attention to make them really shine. And if I had like 10 songs to work on, I'm not sure that it would have gotten done as right.
Yeah, just knowing you for these years, I'm just really glad you did get this out. Like, yeah, like I think a lot of people when they're first releasing their first thing, they overdo it, and like I have to put an album out there, but an EP makes so much sense in the beginning. I think it's like you get to put something out, it's like a manageable size, and then you get to like learn from that, and decide what you want to do going forward next. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about the dyspnea. It's like a breathing issue, is it?
Yeah, it's constant air hunger, and it's a lot worse some days than others, and it's also really affecting my energy levels. And about a month ago, I had, it's strange, I had it's been going on 6 months,
Mm.
solid every day, and then this happened a month ago. For about a week, I had really good breathing, like energy levels were up. So I decided to start exercising, like a little bit more aggressively, cardio, nothing crazy, like 10 minutes of cardio. I did that twice, and the second time, I started getting heart palpitations, and they weren't going away. So then I went to the ER, and I had to get my heart all checked out. And I've been running so many tests, X-rays, imaging tests, and trying some different prescription drugs, and nothing too crazy like in that realm yet because they don't have anything diagnosed. And dyspnea in and of itself is not something that is treatable unless it's like asthmatic, and I do not have any precursors for asthma or allergies. I have no allergies, which is crazy because I'm pretty sure I get triggered by things like dust and no sleep and stress. I'm also just like really on edge. I'm not as chill as I used to be, which is a bummer. So I have to try to like calm myself down while also I just have to be calm because if I'm doing too much, even just going up the stairs, my heart starts thumping, and I have an arrhythmia now. And I just get so low energy that now it's turning into every time I stand up, I feel dizzy, woozy, lightheaded.
God damn.
Yeah.
That's
So
a lot.
they're physical symptoms, but they're also starting to manifest in my mental state, my emotional state, which it's been hard to try to fight that back because it's a feedback loop, you know, like you start to get anxious when you can't breathe.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, saying that I can't breathe it feels a little bit like I'm being overly dramatic because I can breathe, obviously. I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you. But I'm like taking big breaths and also I'm never feeling satisfied with the amount of oxygen that I have. And I'm just like low energy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that is affecting everything in my life. So it doesn't seem to be affecting so much my brain power. So I am like able to like work in Pro Tools and mix music, and you know, I'm like able to work while sitting at a desk doing office work, which thankfully this is the line of work that I'm in. Because if I was like a line cook in a restaurant, I would be so done for.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just can't stand for long periods of time, and I don't know, just it sucks. I hate to be bitching about it, but also kind of feels good to get it off my chest because it sucks existing, and I hate waking up in the morning and my body's just screaming because I'm like trying to stand and it doesn't want to do that. Like I just want to lay in bed all day.
I think it's really good that you're talking about it. I think someone's going to hear this and it's going to help them because we always feel uniquely fucked. Like I'm the only person in the world who's going through this like very horrible thing. And, you're likely someone has survived this. Someone has dealt with it. There is a way around it. You just haven't figured it out yet, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't want to like bog you down too much in it, but just a few questions just come up and like we can cut this out if you like. But like, have you got tested for sleep apnea?
No.
Yeah. I'm just wondering because that's like, if you're not breathing properly at nighttime, then you have less energy in the daytime. And if you had a CPAP machine, it might be helpful. I don't know.
It's interesting because I did wake up the other night feeling like I didn't have enough oxygen, and that never happens. Because usually if I'm just sitting or just laying down, that like can get into homeostasis where it's not bothering me as bad.
Yeah.
So, but also my dreams can be crazy.
Yeah.
And so maybe my dreams were giving me some stress, and I was definitely waking up and like, feeling like I need to suck down some air real quick before I can go back to bed.
I hate that.
Is that what sleep apnea is? I guess I need to look
That's
into it.
basically what sleep apnea is. Yeah. You just either your passageway gets tightened and you can't breathe because of that, or else your brain just stops sending the signal to breathe while you're asleep, which is very fucking annoying. Yeah. Yeah, I just got tested for it. I know I have. I mean, I've been diagnosed with it for years, but I'm trying to get set up with the machine again. But I just throw it out there because it might be another thing to just add to your list. It can't hurt to just like tick it off the list and make sure it's not the thing behind all this stuff.
Yeah, I'll put it on my list right now.
Yeah, it's so weird. Like seems to be common with artists, just like physical health struggles, mental health struggles, and the creative process.
We're very empathetic people. That's part of the problem. Is like we live in this world of like, just tons of stimuli and horror and bad news on a daily basis, electromagnetic chaos, and
that's your next album title.
Electromagnetic chaos. That's a great title for a noise album, actually.
Yes. Sorry, you were serious and I ruined it. Sorry.
Well, yeah, but like all of these factors, I think, keep me in a state of perpetual fight or flight. You know, my nervous system is just always wrecked. Yeah. And I've found some sort of normalization with it, but also it's like I feel like I'm highly masking anxiety, or maybe I have been for years, highly masking anxiety, and now it's just rearing its ugly head, and it's got to be Xanax for a while, you know. I don't want to. I don't want to be on this shit, you know. Like I'm already a really sleepy person, so it's like that side effect on top of being already a sleepy person. That sucks. I'm never gonna get shit done this way.
I hear you. You were saying something there. What was it? Oh yeah. Okay. So that's the thing, right? You talk about the world and the way it is. The thing is, you've done something really hard, which is you've taken away the lubricants or the protective shields of like drink and weed, and now like it's like raw life, which fucking sucks.
Yeah.
But I think you need to be gentle with yourself because these are the first couple of years of learning that new way and like interfacing with the world as it is, and it might just take you a while to find some coping mechanisms and some healthier things. Like your body could be just reacting to this new reality, you know, and it's just a slow uphill battle to like get acclimated. You're basically on Mount Everest without an oxygen mask, you know. Yes,
for sure. I've definitely thought of that, and it was definitely an issue the first year being sober. But by the second year, I had thought that I have like overcome, you know, being able to cope with stressors in my life. But the reality is that I've lost a lot of emotional outlets. Like whether we like it or not, drinking is kind of an emotional outlet. Things like playing shows and doing karate. You know, I've missed all of these things in my life, and those were emotional outlets for me. And so it's not lost on me that a lot of these symptoms could be psychosomatic, and that I just need to like figure out how to emotionally let go.
Yeah. It's very important. It's very hard. I think like the best sign ever is like you might freak yourself out a little bit, but if you have a really bad day and you're like crying, that's actually a good sign. You're letting something go at that point, you know, it's getting out.
Yeah.
And Absolutely. You can find ways to do that. And I think this record is one of those ways of doing that, you know?
Yeah.
Something we might talk about off air, but like I hear you on Xanax. It's scary to have to, and we can cut this out too if you want, but it's scary to have to, just like lean on that for a short amount of time or whatever. But also, you know, it's not the end of the world. I'm not saying you should do this, but like if you have developed a sort of generalized anxiety disorder, maybe you just need a small amount of an SSRI to just give you a little bit of pep in your step in the long term. And that's less affecting than a Xanax is that you take on a as needed basis. The SSRI is more of a long-term thing, and it can just be a little bit of a energy kick, you know. But I don't mean to drag you down that pathway, but I just want to throw it out there while we're talking in case I forget it.
I appreciate any and all suggestions for ways to like treat symptoms that are going on. You know, like I feel like we live in a world where people are tight-lipped about sharing such things because they're afraid of offending people, and I feel like that's very broken. Like we should be helping each other out, you know? We should be talking more about it.
Especially now.
Yeah. Especially
Yes,
now.
there's got to be something going around too, because I've been going crazy for the past 5 months. My mom's been in hospital for the past 5 months, and you've got this health issue for the past 5 months. It's very weird. Maybe we're all going to come out the other end of it like super fucking strong and recovered, and like it's going to be, you know, like like a trial by fire torture that we need to do to like figure some shit out.
Yeah.
That's the optimistic take.
Yes. I like that take a lot.
All right, I'll bring it up. I'll reel it in a little bit. We got a couple of more questions here.
Sure.
You collaborated with some great musicians on this. How did you enjoy that process? Did your perfectionism ever get in the way, or did it even serve you well during these collaborations? And do you think you'll work with some of them again? And maybe I could tie this into the emotional outlet conversation we were just having. Like, so, did you find an emotional outlet in collaborating with people? And was it difficult or was it easy collaborating with people? I'll leave it at that.
I found it easy collaborating with people, which is a far cry from how I've felt about it in the past. I tend to be a bit of a, like yourself, a bit of a creative lone wolf in that, like, I mean, I'm not opposed to bringing ideas to a band and having them, like, change things, but I also just really need them to be on the same page. Well, you know, I just don't like collaborating with a whole band. I like collaborating one-on-one with people. Like, practicing with the songs with David was easy and fine, and he listens well, and you know, when I need something tweaked, and you know, melodic instruments, I guess I was a bit of a, what's the word? With the melodic instruments, I was a bit of a control freak in terms of what I wanted to hear melodically speaking. I sang all the parts that Nick played on his trumpet, and he like mimicked them. He parroted them on the trumpet, which he did a beautiful job of.
Oh, that's really cool. I was going to ask you that. So you you knew exactly what notes you wanted basically, and then
yes,
yeah, the instrument did it. That's really cool. So he didn't come with a response riff to the piece. You knew what you wanted.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah. And like with my saxophone solo, those parts were sung in sort of like a scat style first. And then I was like, well, I don't want this to be scat on the literal scat on the EP. So I adapted it to saxophone, which was not super easy. I found that to be challenging, but I thought in the best way, a challenge. And the solo that Keenan did at the end of Smooth as Milk, the one that you said it was very John Mayer-esque.
Yeah.
I scattered that one out to him.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so
cool.
But I let him go creatively on the former. I let him go creative, play whatever he wanted in the beginning, so part of the solo. Just because, like, I don't really believe in, because that was a solo, you know what I'm saying? Like the part that Nick contributed was
a hook.
Yeah, like they were embellishments on like the ends of phrases and not really like a proper solo. So I wanted Keenan to have like a voice of his own on that song, and I found it very fun and to collaborate. I'm just not very good at collaborating with full bands. You know, like 4 people minimum, talking about the direction of a song and watching how much time we waste in that endeavor. I would rather have a leader with a vision who will just tell us how to play it. You know, I have to believe in that vision, of course. And, you know, of course, like have some flexibility and a creative input. But like, I don't want to I don't want to have a democratic process on every frickin' riff and part of a song. Like, you're just never going to get anything done, and you're just going to, I don't know, get resentful, and it just sounds like hell.
Yeah, I think like God bless those bands who can do it. I think I had fun doing it in my teens. Maybe when I'm 60 and I'm only listening to some fucking weird genre, I'll like want to do that as an experiment because I'll be so sick of being on my own or whatever. But like, I totally hear you when you're describing the room of 4 musicians trying to like eke out parts. Like my palms are getting sweaty. Like I don't like that.
I don't like it.
Fucking hurts.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I love being in your project, because like you create some of the most gorgeous music I've ever heard, and like it's an honor to be in your band, and and I'm sorry to like, embarrass you, and this interview is not about you, but like it is about you, because like you are also an influence. I don't know if I can put you down as an influence because it's like kind of not in the same vein of genre at all, but I don't know. I had a hard time with that in a list of influences part.
Yeah, I hear you. That's very, very sweet of you to say. Like your in turn, your voice is such a huge influence on me. Like, because now when I write stuff, I'm like, I can hear you singing to it.
Yeah.
And it's also, I guess, it's good for us to just like, catch up and just acknowledge the fact that like it is kind of a bummer that we're not able to do our band thing at the moment. And it's
Yeah.
I miss it very much. I don't know. I fully believe it's going to come back. I just don't know when, when we're both ready, I guess.
Yeah, of course. Like the fact that we both got sick at the same time may prove to be serendipitous.
Yeah, might be really fucking lucky.
Yeah, because like it would be a huge bummer if it was like,
I'm ready to go.
Yeah, and then I'm like, I'm sick now, and it's like, nope, no, now I have to be replaced.
Yeah, but like I want you so bad. I want you to be in the band so bad that like if you have to, if for an album cycle you have to be the clarinetist or the like sample pusher, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
Okay, so quick fire round. Your favorite movie?
My favorite movie.
Yes.
Oh.
Failed.
I want to say Braveheart.
Cool.
I love Braveheart, but most bitches love Braveheart.
I fucking love Braveheart. I'm a bitch if that's the case, because whatever you want to say about Mel Gibson, he's crazy, sure, whatever. But like the dude fucking directed and starred in that fucking movie, and it will get you pumped, and it's also very just sweet and brutal. It's brutal as fuck.
Yeah. Well, Mel Gibson was crazy. Why? Because he was saying that everything is true in the Epstein files?
No, I think babies? It's just. I think. Well, actually, look, fucking, he's right.
He's right.
Yeah. I think I honestly haven't looked into it enough, but I think what people think Mel Gibson's crazy about is that his dad is like hyper religious and only goes to like Latin mass, and obviously Mel Gibson is hyper religious. He also said some like very problematic stuff about someone, a person, or some people. I'm not sure. I can't remember. And then there's this really controversial thing in The Passion of the Christ when they're like nailing down Jesus. It's an actor nailing down Jesus, but Mel was like, it has to be my hands that are filmed up close, putting the nails through Jesus. And people took it as like against some sect of religious people. I'm not sure, but anyway. People are going to like get on me in the comments about this, but
yeah, nobody's perfect, and like,
yes,
let's leave Mel Gibson alone because he was right about them eating babies.
Yeah, he had that foresight to see the baby.
He told us, and we didn't listen.
Also, like fucking Mad Max, and then later in his career, like in the last few years, Dragged Across Concrete. Both fucking amazing.
Okay, you know what? A new favorite movie is Bram Stoker's Dracula. With Gary Oldman is probably a classic. I could never say no to watching that movie ever. Like
who fucking needs LSD when you can just put on that movie? It's like such a joy.
Yeah.
I feel like it gets you creatively pumped to like make something. Does Keanu Reeves ruin it for you in any way, or is it okay? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's a little out of pocket in that movie. But I don't think he does terrible. He's just not the best. He's not as good as he definitely improved in his career. He's definitely an example of character development.
Yeah, my defense of him in that movie is that everything is so heightened in that movie. Everything is so up to 11 that like his flatness kind of acts as a counterpoint. Whatever, fucking shoot me.
Also, like he played a very traumatized individual, which is kind of a pathetic person in and of itself. So I think he kind of nailed it, you know.
Yeah. Love Keanu. Okay, favorite video game.
Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2.
Why?
Why? Why you ask it like that, huh?
I'm just fucking curious.
You hate
I'm just
Nintendo?
Nintendo is okay. They make games, I know. I've heard.
I really like how trippy that this game is. It's like you're just hopping around from world to world, and like there's not really any other games out there like it. And it's fucking Super Mario, so it's nostalgic as hell. I grew up, you know, playing Mario games, and it's visually gorgeous and makes me super happy.
Fair, very fair.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, your favorite food? Chef.
That's like a type of like a whole culture of food.
No, I mean like a dish, like one thing.
Okay, the perfect food would be the tostada. The tostada.
What is that again?
The tostada is like think of a giant nacho, round,
Right.
crispy, and the Mexicans usually put like refried beans, beef, cheese, sour cream, lettuce, tomato, but you can put anything you want on it, and it's like a giant fucking nacho.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and you can stack them.
Fuck. Maybe if we just started eating those nonstop every day, our health problems would disappear. We get some new health problems, I guess.
Yeah, and turn it into a giant nacho.
Okay, this one's a little self-indulgent, but your favorite memory of the tours. So just the 2 tours we did, like, does any memory stick out to you as your favorite memory on tour? Could be meeting someone. It could be a show. It could be finally being away from the other band members in a corner.
Blair Witch style.
Yeah. As I ask you, yeah, exactly, like facing the corner. As I ask you this, I'm like, I remember nothing about this. So if you don't have an answer, I don't blame you.
I don't know. I think our adventure in Arizona was really fun when we went out to when we went out and tried to find the river.
Oh, and we found Choop's cabin instead.
We found fucking frothing at the mouth, angry dogs, and roads that we didn't know we could drive over them because they were just that precarious.
They were not on Google Maps.
And we got lost getting out of there, and yeah, we were in the desert, and it was very dry, and there were a lot of nasty barking dogs, and we thought somebody was going to come out of that trailer with a shotgun. And
yeah, that was a bonding
experience.
experience.
We just booked it in the van. I guess at the time that wasn't a pleasant experience, but after the fact, I was like, yeah, adventure.
Yes. Yes. Okay, last one from the quick fire round. Favorite cat?
Cat.
Of your cats I'm talking about.
Oh, that would be Bridget. Sorry.
Wow. Oh, you said you didn't even hesitate.
No,
nice.
Yeah. She's my ride or die bitch. She is my sidekick.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
If she could, I hope she will appreciate that when she listens back to this interview in full.
I'll make sure she hears it. Yeah, she's always there for me. Like, you know, she knows when I'm having a hard time. She'll come and snuggle up with me and purr on me, or just sit there like a gargoyle and just purring and staring down at me. And I don't know. I feel very cared for by her.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 last questions. We both said we don't listen to that much music, but is there any bands you're listening to now that folks should not be sleeping on? Like friends of yours maybe that are in bands or have music projects?
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting into more metal. I'm not like a metalhead by any means, but I have started listening to this band called Blood Incantation, and I really think that even non-metal heads, people who maybe don't like metal, should listen to them. If you like Pink Floyd, you would really love them. They have just a very interesting sound, and just some of the just most fun guitar tone that I've ever heard, and very interesting sections. And I even love the guy's voice, and that's a prerequisite for me. Like, if I don't like the vocals in a metal song, like if it's too screamy, like up here, I'm out, because it fatigues my ears too much. Yeah. So I like to be low, like Imperial Triumphant. I love that band because that guy's voice rocks. Also, my partner's band Warm is a metal band from Western Massachusetts, and I feel like they write some really compelling stuff. And they just came out with a sick album called. Sorry, I should know this. It's not Fussy.
I should too, because you're both on the same label.
Cut this part out. 1 second.
Definitely not cutting this out.
Fastidium.
Fastidium.
I should have known that. I'm embarrassed. But no, this is like one of my favorite albums. Like, I'm definitely in one of their top 1% listener on YouTube Music. So.
Okay, yeah, they killed it with that.
Yeah.
Loved their last New York show at that house.
Yeah, and they're working on a lot of new stuff, and the new stuff is sounding really sick. So I'm just like, I'm a huge fan of theirs.
Hell yeah. Cool. And then my last question for you, we might have covered it already, but how does one stay sane in 2026? Does one stay sane in 2026?
Definitely shut off the social media. Don't be afraid to like uninstall the social media from your phone, because I find myself very distracted as soon as I pick up the phone, even to just like check the weather or see what's on my calendar. My fingers just seem to have muscle memory to swipe, and press right here on this very specific part of the screen that is Instagram. And I do that so mindlessly that it's very much an addiction. So I will just uninstall the app so that I can't do that anymore. And that has helped my mental health quite a lot. Now, I still go back on Instagram every so often just because my friends are there, and I don't know, I'm still working out the kinks of how I'm going to leave Meta. Eventually it's going to happen, but
you need a meme or two every now and then as well.
Exactly. Yeah, you do. You definitely need to catch up on the news via memes, because I'm not reading the news straight from these news sources. I'm getting it distilled through memes.
You don't want to like increase your mental illness?
No.
For a subscription fee, maybe?
Oh my God. Staying sane in 2026. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a really good question. Really good interview questions here, Shane. Hard hitting.
Yeah, going for the jugular.
Definitely got to do some nervous system regulation, somatic movements, breathing. You have to be so intentional with your breath, and intentional in everything you do, really. Like, try not to do mindless things, and try to give each other space and grace. That'll also help the society be not so mental. And mental illness spreads, it's contagious. When we give bad vibes to others, it returns in form of karma.
Yeah, I just like, with the health shit I've been going through, it's like anytime I feel normal and I'm not dealing with the health bullshit, I suddenly want to like be really nice to people all of a sudden. It's like, that's one good thing that's come out of it, is like, I used to be like, no, I need to get to my work and like make the song happen, or like think about the next thing, constantly thinking about the next thing. But I don't know, like the gift of getting sick is that you are forced to stop and confront a whole bunch of stuff. And you see the value in like, just like, I don't know, helping someone lift the fucking food cart up a few steps or whatever, instead of running past them,
Yeah. I liked what you posted the other day about how, every day we should strive to do something to make at least one other person think, I love humans, or something like that, like restore people's faith in humanity, because there's so much going on to undo all that. And what we need right now is to unite to fight the powers that be.
Yeah, I really hate that throwing out the baby with the bath water bullshit of like, humans have done this, so we must like just almost like press fast forward and end humans or something. It's just like, no, it's like the exact opposite. We should be really cool to each other, and we should come together from all different walks of life, even people who have some views you don't like that much. You know, they might align with you on the one thing that you can actually get fixed, you know, and just be a bit more open to that. And if you have a conversation with them about something fucking innocuous, you'll be fine. Like, I'm sure all of us could have a friendly conversation with Mel Gibson.
Yes. I have a feeling that he's a down-to-earth guy. He's just, you know, he said some shit. He was probably having a mood and said some shit, and he's, you know, a famous person, and people took it and ran with it and blew it out of proportion.
I believe he did call a cop sugar tits.
Oof.
While he was like wasted. So this should not be the Mel Gibson defense podcast. But thank you so much for sitting down and chatting, Amber. It's been good to catch up with you a little bit.
Thanks, Shane.
Is there anything else we have left unsaid? The EP comes out very soon. I think we're saying March 13th, are we?
Yep, Friday, March 13th. We're going to drop it. I think just on a few platforms like Qobuz, Subvert, Bandcamp, of course. I'm still back and forth on YouTube Music. I use YouTube Music myself, but it's just kind of part of the problem, and, you know, it's not much better than Spotify, so I don't know if I'm going to do it yet or not. But yeah, it's going to be dropped March 13th, and nothing. Yeah, it's just, that's it. You
got it out of your system.
We're going to drop it, and there's going to be no real pomp and circumstance about it. With the help of Shane's label, we'll be getting some PR and some help in the press to just kind of spread the word. So I really appreciate that. And of course, any time you need help with the label, I'm here, you know, to
hell yeah,
just make it happen.
Appreciate it, and very happy to add you to the roster. It just is strength in numbers, and you're doing me a favor too by releasing something on it. Where can people find you? I know you just said you want to get off social media, but what's the best social media to find you on?
I would say at Amber Moon Instagram.
Say that one more time. I think the audio cut out there. Sorry.
I think at Amber Moon. I forget my own hashtag on Instagram, but it's like amber.moon. 1 second. Okay. At amber.moon.v. V as in vagina. V as in Viagra. Yeah. Amber.moon.v.
Vagina Viagra.
Vagina Viagra.
And then what was the other one? Electromagnetic Chaos.
Electromagnetic Chaos is the noise album by Pinkerton's Taint.
And the first track is Viagra Vagina.
Okay, we're gonna have to make that. You know, we have to set that. Now we've set that in stone. Now we got to get that plan rolling.
Yes. Okay, well, here's to better times where we're both not sick as fuck, and it's cool. I really appreciate you taking the time to make the interview.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shane.
My pleasure. Thanks for listening, everybody. Please subscribe to hear more interviews like this. I promise there won't be 1 year between this and the next interview, and yeah, eat it. Hey, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. You know, the fingers at the end, that was just, you know, a polite gesture. Just, you know, don't even worry about it. So please like and subscribe, because we got a lot more stuff coming at you. And thank you for watching. I already said that. And there's the baby over there. Yep, still there.